Everybody, and welcome back. Alright, let's see if I can remember everything I thought I had to tell you. Okay, first of all, I solved the mystery of the nose touching. Won't go into too much detail, but let's just put it this way. I used to do the editing one clip of video at a time. So I'd put the very first one in, and then, as I say, I'd get to the point where I touched my nose, I'd stop it and put the cut thing, and then I'd carry along towards the end to where I'm going to get up to switch you off. I'd stop it and put the cut thing, and then I'd delete the beginning and the end. Well, of late, what I've been doing is, instead of transferring each clip at a time, I've transferred them all and then just watched through. So I've been doing exactly the same. In other words, I started, I watched Let Touch My Nose, stop, cut, carry on. As I say, that thing's timing is impeccable. So I sort of do the cut at the beginning and end of the first clip, but then I've realised what I've done a couple of times is watched all the other clips and then forgot to go back and actually cut the bits off. So I've marked where I wanted to cut it. So I found that out by looking at the last one where Dick had mentioned it, and I went back into the editing software and looked at it, and I could see the pieces still left in there. So hopefully there'll be no more nose touching. Alright, that's one thing. Speaking of Dick, Steam Shop and I had our trip down there, got my xylene. Speaking of Steam Shop, we had a good day. Dick always does lunch for us, which is always nice. Sort of fried up corned beef and onions on toast, and then melted cheese on top's lovely. Piston came, so I can take that along to Steam Shop and get that done. Right, that's that. So what else did I want to say? Saturday, actually the weather was good on Saturday, and my riders came. One of them got his lines crossed about what day it was, so Nia, who's riding the Triumph, came, and God, I've forgotten his name already. Dan? I think it's Dan. Anyway, he was riding the BSA. So we had a great afternoon riding. I rode the Enfield with the disc brakes, and it was jumping out the first gear again. And as luck would have it, over the last week or so, Paul Henshaw, who knows his Enfields inside out, was actually doing a gearbox that was jumping out the first gear. And he showed which dogs where to allow it to do that. So I've been on the Hitchcocks and ordered the, it's for the main shaft. It's the double gear that slides and the one it goes into. So I'll be doing that. So as I say, we had a great time. Both of them loved the bikes. So that'll be fun this year. Alright, that's that. I ordered tyres. Still no IRC front tyres. So slightly more expensive, but I ordered a Dunlop front and an IRC rear because they have to be tube type, but all the 21 inches are tube type. Right, I had a couple of comments, and because I mentioned them, that's why, if you're wondering why I didn't answer you, about putting this on. Now I think I mentioned it, I was wondering about the fact that, you know, the oil seal wasn't actually in the case as it was on that, and a couple of people said there should be a gasket or something, and as you can see I've taken it off. I only just read the comments this morning before I came out, so I was thinking about it myself. So what I've done, I looked in the gasket set and I didn't see a gasket that seemed to fit, but I printed out the parts book, so we'll have a look. If there isn't a gasket, then we'll just use gasket cement. I mean, it has a couple of lips like that, so they maybe think that when it's all tightened up it doesn't leak, but I took it off because it's only a couple of minutes job. So that's done. Oh, and of course with the piston lorry, the gearbox sprocket came, so I can actually build the transmission side as well. So this week what we will definitely do is rebuild all the bottom of the engine. And depending on how busy Steam Shop is, because you know he still runs the automotive side and does some work, although he's busy with the steam engine at the moment. When he's done that, we can put the barrel on. But because I got the xylene as well, see, things are moving along now. Because I got the xylene, I can paint the frame stuff. So really the only thing we're going to be waiting for that will take a bit of time, I think, this day, is the rear rim, or at least I'll have a tyre when it does come. So I'll get the front wheel built up completely, and the rock shocks. Because as I said, Gary had been away and he did say it'd be, actually I think he said it'd be a month. Even the upholsterer was busy and said it was going to be a while to get the two saddles back. But anyway, let's check in the parts book, get this engine built up, get the frame painted. We can put the forks in, we can actually put the engine in, swinging arm and everything. I was just waiting for its rear suspension unit, well, for front and rear suspension units, and put the wheels in. Oh, and I have to phone up about the red paint for the tank. Took it in last Monday, and it's not like the place I used to have here in Ithaca. Kevin there would, actually he would probably have done it while I was there, matched the paint and mixed it up. But they said to match, I'd have to come back, and that's like a week. Anyway, let's get stuck in. Right then, so I've checked the parts book. Funny enough, I've just printed it all out. As I say, page 21 is missing. Okay, there is no gasket showing for here. Shows every other gasket I've got in the gasket set, and in fact I've got one that I can't find anywhere. And it's a cork ring. I'll show you something in a minute with it, but it's not right as per the thing. So I'm going to put some gasket cement on this, put that back on, put this back on, and then we'll go at the gearbox, put the outer cover on the gearbox and put that on. Alright? Right, I put that back on, but I want to just take a minute to show you this, because it's one of the things I like about Electrex World. As I say, they make this whole thing specially for Villiers, and they even supply, look, a nice screw-in wiring clamp with basically a rubber olive. So that goes down onto there, and then that's going to go screw up, make the whole thing nice and watertight. So can't say fairer than that, can you? Righty-ho. So, oh, I wanted to check where that went. That has got to be the thing for keeping the kickstart mechanism. See, there's one half of it, and there's the other half. So that is going to go on there somewhere. That looks like it. Boing, a boing, a boing, a boing. Yep. So I would think it's going to be easy to put on. Not like that. Or is it? Because I don't want those bits to fall out. Anyway, first thing we've got to put on is a rather flimsy paper gasket. So I've greased both sides. See, where does this go? Yes, like that, because there's a dowel as well. Well, in fact, there's two dowels. There's one dowel there and one dowel there. And of course, as always with these, one dowel sticks in one case, and one sticks in the other. Then you think you've lost one. So, let's see, can I get this together? Which way are we going? Oh, let me put some oil. Oil. There's actually a double row needle there in there. I can oil the rest of it through the top of the gearbox, but that bit, this shaft here, is it? No, that shaft there is going to go into it. Seeing stuff dripping out, it's a bit of solvent that I just used to clean this up. Come on now. Oh, hang on. That was to go in there as well. Okay, that goes on there. Goes on there. Come on. What isn't going together? And always, whenever there's paper gaskets, I hate things that, oh, I can get that muck off, that don't go together right, because you take them off and half the time you, why isn't that going on? There's nothing touching yet. It's down this end. It's got to be. That hasn't got any splines on it, that just fits straight into there. That's the clutch operating rod. You all love watching me struggle, don't you? Something is in the way. Could it be that? Luckily you can get at that before it all goes closely together. Right, that's in there. That's in there. Come on, kickstart, don't be awkward this time. Kickstart on. That's meshing. That's just an O-ring. Well, things are going round. Kickstart mechanism's working. Right, let me put my nuts on. Yeah, let me put the nuts onto this and tighten it up. Now then, just like you probably were, I just said to myself, you dipshit, this gasket doesn't stick out there, that goes there. But the thing is, it won't. Can't turn that over unless they've made the gasket incredible, because as you can see, it's kidney shaped. If I flip that over, then there's going to be a hole there. See, this fits everywhere perfectly. And anyway, why would there need to be gasket there? It doesn't bolt to anything. No, I must be right. Or if I'm not, I don't see as it makes any difference. Next thing, I suppose, are the O-rings. There's two O-rings. Biggish one goes on there, smaller one goes on there. Then, where are we? That goes on there over the O-ring, and then there's a clip that holds that on. Right. So that's in there. That's on there. And that just goes this washer is dished, so I think that can't be the groove for the clip because the washer isn't pressed onto the O-ring. Oh, come on, I just put you on there. No, that's the wrong. That's the way. Because there's no... Oh, the ones I was bought might work for that. Because they have nice little grippy things on them, square ends. There you go. Thank you for them. Yeah, there is another. Oh, there you go. See, that pulls out a bit more. Yeah, these have got like little serrated edge. Very nice to grip things like this. Should that go on that way, or should that go on with the dish the other way? No, I think that's it. That's pressing down into the thing, and I don't think they'd go on if the dish was the other way. So then we'll just put a little bit of oil on this so it'll slip in easier. So that is in there. Now what this has, of course, is the spring goes on. It's got to, hang on, make sure you're all right. Yep, more or less. So there are a ring of holes here. The spring for different tensions, you see. Then that goes on there. Like thusly, just as a cover. Come on now. Gonna get my head in the way. There it is, it's almost in the hole. There it is. So that goes on there like that. And then on the back of the kickstart there's another hole that goes on there. And there is, you can see the witness mark, a little cover. Oh no, that's from the kickstart. That goes on there. And then there's a little cover. You see the end is threaded? There's a little cover that goes in the end of there. So we'll leave that for now. Okay. So the next thing is to actually this onto the back of the engine. So again, now the Villiers people told me that they do a thin and a thick gasket, and that if I put one of each on here, this of course moves the gearbox and the engine apart, so it tensions the primary chain. And they said a thick and a thin on there will, now you can barely see it, look, can you? What I'm saying is a thick and a thin gasket on here moves the engine far enough away from the gearbox to tension the primary chain on the clutch perfectly. So let me get organised for that. So I've oiled all the gears, squirted in everywhere, so that's fine. I put some grease on here. So thick one, thin one. What is with all these big bits sticking out? That's got to go on that way because there's dowels. There, dowel there. Dowel stuck in the other case. Do this so that two gaskets will, well, it doesn't really matter if they stick together, does it? But why does that stick up there? It's all very strange, isn't it? Actually, I should have put these on the other side. Whoops. Drop that on the floor, that's all, don't worry about it. I know you can't see anything. So these gaskets are very strange. They're just flimsy paper as well. I suppose what I should do. Let's do this the other way around. Oh no, I'll do it this way. Let me make sure you're in getting near lunch. I'm getting weak. Just phoned the paint place. My red paint is ready, and while I'm out I'm going to call Steam Shops. I checked and he's in. Right, let me see, which way up is this going to go? That's the bottom. just me kicking the chair. So there's that onto there. So let me put the 4 bolts on, or 4 nuts on, and then we can look at putting the clutch on. See, what the hell does this... There's nothing goes on there. Anyway, it's not the first time you've seen me confused, and it won't be the last, so we'll struggle on. Good morning. It's Tuesday. Perfectly clear blue sky, sunny, really nice day. Okay. So I've been getting everything together to do this. So we'll start at this end. There's an oil seal that goes in there, and actually it's like a metallized one. There's the old one. There's the new one. Then there's a spacing piece that goes on there. Our new sprocket. There's like a dished spring washer. And then the big nut. Now, with this sprocket being so small, there isn't room for it to be drilled and have that little sort of grub screw put in to stop that undoing. So what we'll do is we'll make sure this thread is nice and clean. We'll put a bit of Loctite on that. Right? Then when the chain case goes on, there's an oil seal in there, which I've already put in. This end, there is an oil seal that goes in. There's a Woodruff key. Then there's the sprocket. Now we come to that strange piece of cork. That is just the right size to go on there. But there's no mention of it in the parts book. Oh, and this morning I tried to print out page 21 of the parts book, and it isn't there. It's not in the PDF file. It goes from 20 to 22. However, the sort of exploded diagram of the engine, which shows all the seals and the gaskets, does show this one, which goes on like thus, you see. So that cork thing, as I say, that's the only place. Just waits for me to get talking to you. I don't know, does that go on? No, I see it won't. Anyway, as I say, there's no mention of it in the parts book. If any of you knows where it goes, I was thinking of all sorts of places, but it's a perfect fit for that, and it doesn't fit anywhere else. And that does come in the gasket set, right? So let me put these couple of oil seals in, and then we'll put the outer case on. Let me show you this first though. Let me show you the clutch parts. Okay, as I say, once we've got that inner part of the chain case in, that goes on. Then that goes on with all the nice new rollers in it. That copper piece goes on to hold the rollers in place. Then this big dished plate goes in. Then the clutch sender, which has another spline piece in the side of that, goes in. Then all of the little clutch springs go into those holes. Then we have our pack of plates, 3 of each. Well, actually, I suppose we could put that on next. That holds the springs in and holds the centre onto the shaft. Clutch plates. There's a thicker plain plate, which is the pressure plate that goes on the outside. And then this piece threads onto there and holds everything together with the adjuster for the clutch push rods. And I think that is everything for the clutch. So let me put these couple of oil seals in and then we'll get stuck in with that. So I have those oil seals in and I popped the little spacer in there. So next thing to go on is sprocket. Cleaned up all the threads. So we'll put a little bit of blow Loctite there. Screw that on there. Turns out I've got a great big spanner that'll fit this. Let me get the chain thing out. See if we... Come on people, keep me right here. Look, I laid everything out so I wouldn't miss anything. Good job I did have it laid out, isn't it? Should I put a bit more Loctite? No, that should be alright. Yeah. You people, you really keep letting me down. 428. You watch, I won't be able to get this. Won't be enough. Got it going, just misses the sprocket. Always put these things on the wrong way around. Should have it round there, shouldn't I? Okay, can I get onto that? Just. Oh. Go. When I tighten things up like that now I can hear all my sinews straining, all the joints. You can hear this pulling sound. Alright, so that's on. So now we can put this on. So let's oil up this oil seal. Oh, okay, let me do it again. That goes on there. Can you see this, or did I pull you in too much to see the gearbox? I don't know. You can see. So that goes on there. Like that. Stop that drying out being nasty. That is going to go on there like. Oh, that cork thing does go in there. Do you know that? Because I don't know if you can see it, that boss is higher than that. You know, I think this is a really poor design. It just struck me when I put this side on. Neither of these oil seals actually go on the crankshaft. That's a really shoddy way to do it. There's a gap. When I put our thing in the back of here, probably gonna have to move you now. Let me clean my fingers a little bit before I touch the camera. Oh, this towel's getting to be as dirty as my hands are. Hang on. There you go. Yellow on. Around the back here. Not impressed, Villiers. Not impressed in the least. Providing I'm building this correctly. I don't see how it can be any other way. Get this one out so I can see the... Because the other thing is the key is right down inside there. Now this is an endless chain, so we're going to put the clutch cage on at the same time as this here sprocket. But as I say, the Woodruff keys. Do you know, I could have put this Woodruff key in before I put the case on. I was thinking it would foul the oil seal, but it doesn't. Yeah, I'm going to take this case off and put the Woodruff key in. Then I'll bring you back and we'll build the clutch up. My brain's not functioning, is it? That doesn't make any difference taking that chain case off. It's down inside that. Man, okay, let me finagle this in. Right, let's see if we can get this on without everything falling to pieces. So I've put all the rollers in, and there's that piece that goes on there. I got the key, actually the key, I cleaned the key up a bit and it went on quite easily. Get this primary chain on there. Get that sprocket on there. I don't know as 1.5 gas or a thick and a thin gasket works here. Oh yeah, it's going on. Yeah, that's going on, but that isn't. That is not going to go on there. That chain is too tight. Oh, well, maybe. Got the key on, but these have got to go on obviously absolutely parallel. Come on. See, that's slightly cocked now because that's gone down too far. That's going to pull off those bloody rollers. I wonder if you're supposed to put this together. Actually, what's going on? What's going on? God, that chain's tight. Hang on, I'm still missing the nut off the bottom. I don't think that will pull it up any tighter, but let me see if I can find another 5/16 BSC. Just had a thought and took a nut off the other gearbox. So that's on. It's tightened up a bit and that's given me some play, but yeah, that's probably just enough. Okay, so what goes on next? That goes back on. Then goes on. And that goes on. Put all the springs in there. That goes on. And then that goes on. This is weird, isn't it? How the hell does this work? This isn't compressing anything. I don't get this at all. That's the pressure plate. Hang on. I don't see whether there's any pressure on the springs. Oh! It's alright, it's just me falling over the frame. They hit the back with the rollers on. Copper what's it? Dish thing. The inner, the outer with the springs. That and the nut. Hang on, there seems to be more. It says there are 4 plates. 4 bonded plates. Oh yes, there are. 5. What's number 5? Plate intermediate, 3 of. Okay. And then that thing on the end. How the hell does that work? Okay. This piece screws onto that. So when the rod pushes through, it's going to pull the centre. So it's going to compress the centre, or it's going to compress the springs between the centre and this end plate. Still don't see how that works. Well, that's the last one. These ones are thinner. Past 12. I might have to go and have a slightly early lunch while I think about this. That. Then that. And then that screws on. Very, very, very odd. Anyway, that's how it goes together, so I'm going to muck in the end of that. Let me get that cleaned out. And we'll drop the clutch push rods in and that's it, supposedly. This is still perplexing, but it does work. Put the push rods in and put everything together. You can't see me, but what I'm doing is just putting a piece of tube on the little operating arm to give me some leverage, and as you can see, the pressure comes off. Alright, so the Villiers engineers are obviously cleverer than I am. I suppose I can see how it works, but it seems very odd. Alright, sarnie time. Right, it is 1 cheese and tomato sarnie and a cup of tea later, and I've decided that is too tight. So I'm going to take all this off and take that thick gasket out. Maybe it's because this is a brand new chain, but yeah, that's too tight. I mean, it's hardly got any. Of course, what generally happens when you do this, you've put something together that's slightly fiddly and then you have to take it apart. When you put it back together the second time, it does not go back together. You know, the first time, oh great, and then you think, I've missed something. And then when you go to do it again, it's a bugger. So, this isn't too much. Let me take it apart and I'll bring you back when I've taken that gasket out. Right, so, no prizes for guessing what happened. When I took this apart first, all the rollers fell out. Took the thick gasket out, put it back together with the thin gasket, and it was floppy all over the place. So I took it apart again, took the thin gasket off, put the thick gasket on, and it's, I say it's brand new. We'll see what it's like after it's run a little while. Of course, the annoying thing is I'd have to take the engine out to take the gearbox off to change it, but I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so second time I put it together, I found the easiest way actually was to put the centre in with the rollers on, and then you can get it on reasonably easily and then slip that over there. So let me put the rest of it together. I've got the nut for there and all this other stuff. So I put all that back together. I've put the outer cover on and I had to scrounge around to find a 3/8 BSC nut. It's not the right one, because I wanted to tighten that up and see if it would take this up, which it seems to have done. It's a really poor fit from here through there. You remember when I did the hang on, when I did this repair, that I had it all bolted up? It was fine, but by gum, it's under a bit of tension. Anyway, that's all together. So don't think I'm going to put the flywheel and that on yet, because of course that weighs a lot and I've got to pick this up to put it into the frame, and I'm getting old. So what I'm going to do now actually is get on with painting the frame, and I'm hoping by the end of the week the Steam Shop will have the barrel done, and if he has, and I've got the paint framed, I've got the frame painted, I could actually put it up on the bench here, put the piston on, put the barrel and the head on and everything, and start to build things up. Okay, so we'll leave it at that for now with the engine, and I will go and do some frame painting. Alright, it's Saturday. I'm just close to finishing off, so this is going to be the end of the video. Didn't get the barrel done. One or two things involved with that, but anyway, we'll get that done next week. But we're finishing this video with some bad news. Now, as you can see, I got the painting done. Actually, this Hammerite, I'd forgotten that it's sort of like the Triumph pearlescent paint. With that, each coat, because of the effect, gets darker. So, say you noticed a bad patch, you couldn't just go over that patch, because that would be darker than this. It always has to have the same amount of paint on. Well, this is the same. If you just spray it lightly, you virtually get a grey colour, a silver finish. You've got to put quite a lot of paint on to get the Hammerite one, so it's not as easy to spray. But anyway, I got it done, and then when I was looking to see what it was like, And then I'm going to bring you in. So hold on to your chairs. Now I'm going to focus you as well. Oops. I noticed these little black dots. And I thought, that's funny. What are they? And when I looked at them, they're holes. Right across there. Then I noticed there's some on that side. So I was thinking, alright, cut a piece out, weld a new piece in, and we'll repair them. Well, actually, just as I was laying these out, ready to film it, there's another one on this side, and there's another one there. These forks are shot. They must have been full of water. Hang on, hold on again. They must have been full of water. They've gone paper thin, and I've got a feeling that even might be the sandblasting that blew those holes in it. So what I had done, let's say I just found those holes on the other side, is I got the other pair out and I put the black diamond, the heavy stuff, into the blaster, and I've been preparing these other ones. So I'll paint these. So it looks as if the second bike, well, never mind looks, it's going to happen. The second bike's going to have telescopic forks. Those other ones could even be, I suppose, repaired if the tubes had been straight. But there's no way that I can... I mean, just out of interest, if I'm thinking the scrap, I can cut some pieces out and see if I can repair them. But we're not going to hold stuff up forever. So as I say, I'm going to finish off cleaning those up, and then I will paint them. So that is decidedly a bomber. It's always one of those cases of don't buy things sight unseen. I mean, it was still a good enough deal. You know, $1,500. I'm getting one complete Greeves Anglian. You know, I could have rebuilt it with the original shocks and just cleaned everything up, so it was still a good deal, but I was rather looking forward to using them. So, not the best way to finish the week, but that's going to be it. So next week, I would think we'll get the barrel done. Certainly have the last of the paint work done. So what I can do is put the frame together, put the engine in, put the swinging arm on, tyres arrived, I can finish the front with. There's all sorts we can do. In fact, probably by the end of next week, we're going to get to the stage where we're just sitting around waiting for the rear rim to do the back wheel and for the rock shocks to arrive. Oh, I've got the tank to do, but again, that's not a big job. Did I tell you how much the paint was for the tank? I can't remember, but if I did, I'm going to tell you again. 1 pint of red automotive paint was $83. Well, $83 plus tax. So it was like $90. So that's 60, 70 pounds for a pint of paint. Alright, I'm going to let you go, and I'll see you next week. And until then, you just stay safe and enjoy yourselves.